as you'll see as we continue, he's going to explain it. So we'll start here. Nor in such a way as that which is significant and indicative with men through imaginations. So what he's saying here is that the naming of the divinities is not merely conceptual ideas of people. They're not things that are just coming out of someone's imagination. They're not things that are just, meaning the names are not derived from mere conception. Because if that is the case, then the names would lack a kind of egoic principle will be attached to the name if it's coming from concepts, mental ideas and concepts. So he's saying that that is not the case. The names of the divinities are not derived from mere conception, ideas, imaginations, but either intellectually, conformably to the divine intellect which is within us. So what he's saying is that the names of the divinities are conjoined with divine intellect, not the intellect of the human intellect or intellectual ideation. So the implication here being that the sages are infused in their theurgy and have been able to would say tap into the source of divine intellect. So that their own intellect, their own cosmic intellect, their own divine intellect. So there's a separation or distinction between the intellect of intellectuals and the intellect of transformative consciousness that has transcended mere intellectualism. Or ineffably and in a way more excellent and simple and conformably to the intellect which is united to the gods and goddesses. So what he's saying here is that the term ineffable means that it's something that is not easily explained through the common intellect, but that these names are conformably they are derived from an intellect which is the same as the intellect of the Neteru, of the gods and goddesses. So the sages, the Hierophants, are deriving these names. They have discovered their own divine intellect. They have gone beyond human intellectualism and discovered the intellect of the cosmic forces within themselves. And therefore, any name that they give to any divinity is not being derived from themselves from the egoistic notion of themselves, but from a higher divine principle within themselves, which is their own divine intellect. So in other words, the gods and goddesses are naming themselves. It is requisite, therefore, to take away all conceptions derived by an abstractions from sensibles. What it means here is that any concept that is to be applied to the neteru are to be separated from senses, the senses. So these names of divinities are not derived from sense perception. They're derived from divine provenance. So therefore, it's not like there was a visual perception of a deity and then a name applied to it. That would be an abstraction. That would be an abstraction from the process in which the divine names are derived. There has to be an abstraction from sensibles, from the outward flowing senses, to derive the true name of the deity. If sense perception is involved in a process of naming the deity, then you will not have a true name of the deity. The senses has to be removed. And the senses are removed by the realization of the divine intellect within, which is the source of the name. And therefore the name is being derived from divinity and not from human intellectual processes. So and that's why the chanting of the divine name has such potency, because you're chanting the true name of the divinity, and then that has a metaphysical effect on you as the chanter of the name. So the names of the divinities are not coming from humans or human processes. They're coming from divine process. And therefore, the name of the divinity captures the essence of the power of the divinity that is latent within one's own unconscious mind. And chanting the name of the deity has a metaphysical effect on that cosmic power within one's own unconscious. And this is all under the theurgical yogic process of mystical yoga. In ancient Egypt, referred to as simatawi. So as spiritual practitioners, chanting of the divine names, the names are simple, but the implications are vast and profound from the perspective of the spiritual evolutionary process of the human being. And so the chanting of the divine name leads you to the source, divine intellect that produced that name. And all logical evolutions from divine names, and likewise the connascent physical similitudes of language to things which exist in nature. So what it's saying is that the divine name is similar to the essence of the power that exists in a cosmic force. The term nature is derived from the term netter, and netter means divinity. So everything is a cosmic force. The trees, the plants, the stars, but you have certain cosmic forces that are the operable power systems of the mind that leads to, when discovered and the theurgical process is undertaken under proper guidance, leads a human being to transcendental consciousness. This is called spiritual enlightenment. So the names of nature reflect the power of the force that is inherent within that aspect of nature. For example, the Nile River is called Happy. Happy is a deity. So the river is named according to the force that is inherent in water that is referred to as happy. But if you pollute the water, if you dam the river, do all these things, it has a geological effect. It has an effect in nature, but it also has an effect on the psyche of the people that associate with the river. Similarly, the air space that's referred to as shu. If you pollute the air with carcinogenic particles, yes, people may get cancer in their body, but they're also getting cancer in the mind. Because you're taking a pure cosmic force and you're polluting it. And so the cosmic environment becomes disbalanced. And then human beings experience certain diseases epigenetically. So the name, like the name of the night sky, that's Nut. The name of the water, Happy. The name of the air, Shu. The name of the sun, Ra. The name of the moon, Ya. These names are not simply just random names. They're explications of the cosmic forces of the universe, which is essentially the body of Neter, the body of God. These are the power systems of the universe. You pollute the power systems, you pollute people, you pollute humanity, you pollute the animals, etc. If these power systems are allowed to remain pure, then you have a more pure environment. So you have more mental disease, you have less mental disease, you have less violence, less trouble in human affairs. You have a civilization that can last thousands and thousands of years. But if things are disbalanced by ignorant human activity, then the whole world will be disbalanced. Humanity, the planet will be disbalanced. So in any way, we'll come back next week and do more with this. So dua everyone for joining in, and dua for the devotion once again. Until we meet again, Heta.